Let's begin.
I am the one and only MSJ. You can call me Max for short, and welcome to day 13 of the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project year 8. And today's movie is The House That Jack Built, the director's cut, directed by Lars Von Trier and starring Matt Dillon as Jack, our serial killer for the movie. Now, I've actually managed to watch both versions of this movie. My initial reaction when both of the credits for each versions appeared on the screen, I thought the director's cut was the more superior version of the movie, even though the joke where it's like, oh, it's the director's cut, only has like 2 seconds of new footage, but it changes the whole movie. This kind of defeats that in a big bad way because even though the director's cut is a little bit more graphic, but it does kind of feel like the movie does not shy away. Because in the theatrical, it does shy away from the more graphic scenes because it's the R-rated version, and the unrated actually gets away with it. And this movie doesn't have a physical release here in the U.S. that I know of. I've been looking, but everything that comes up is like a region B or so release, and I have to have a certain DVD player to do it. And so I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait until I can find this version on digital. And today was that day. So, what you need to know about this movie is Jack, Matt Dillon's character. He is a serial killer, and he's telling these specific stories throughout his career as killing people, and he manages to kind of make it span over 12 years. So the first kill in the movie he seems very impulsive. It just kind of happens out of nowhere. Like the person who he kills is kind of very annoying and kind of, in a way, kind of provokes him. Like he just needs this person to shut up in a big bad way, and he does. And the second kill, he's an OCD. He has OCD, and he can't leave a room that's unclean, so he's constantly going back into the crime scene and cleaning it up, even though there's no physical evidence of him being there, but just in his mind, it's like, oh, there's a drop of blood underneath the lamp, even though the lamp never moved, or no blood ever went over there. It's just like, he has to go back there and clean it, and he nearly gets caught doing this, and puts his life in jeopardy, basically. Like, he's constantly going back into this crime scene, cleaning it up, and a cop shows up, and it's just like, oh, how's he going to manage to get out of this? And throughout the movie, you see how well Matt Dillon can act. Like I mentioned that he's very tensed up in the beginning, and then he shows his OCD, and then as the movie progresses, you see his OCD kind of disappear, and he becomes a little bit bolder, a little bit more cocky, a little bit more forthcoming. He changes his character significantly. So. And that's what I really liked about that. I'm not going to divulge into the other stories because this movie is rough. And I'm just going to let you right now, full disclosure, is that this movie is not for everyone. You kind of have to have an acquired taste, especially for the Lars Von Trier movies. He's definitely... He knows how to make a movie. Let's put it that way. He knows how to make a movie. And it's definitely, the movies he make aren't for everyone. No subject is taboo for him. And if you've seen like Nymphomaniac, Antichrist, Melancholia, Dancer in the Dark, Dogville, all those movies are just like acquired taste, in my opinion. I think Dogville may be a little bit more for everybody, but Breaking the Waves maybe as well. But it's just this one is definitely watch by yourself kind of movie. And if you have someone who likes these kind of movies as well, more the merrier. But if you just kind of watch it by yourself and then kind of gauge if you want to bring some people into watching it. So it's definitely a long movie. It's 2.5 hours long. And it doesn't feel like 2.5 hours long. I was just laying on the couch watching the movie, and I'm like, oh wow, 2.5 hours went by pretty quick. because each of the stories are very different, and it adds and are different. They have a different vibe and different flow to each one of them because of Matt Dillon's acting in the movie. So it just makes the movie just flow fast. So now, like I said, this movie's not for everybody. It's really rough, and it doesn't shy away from some kills in the movie, and can be seen and viewed or whatever as like controversial. It really can be, and especially the third story in the film. It's really, really rough. I was not expecting that story whatsoever, and especially watching the director's cut. That is where the director's cut really earned its name. So, what else is there to say? That's really all I can say without really divulging into spoiler territory, which I don't do on here, but I may do in a future video. But just, I know this isn't technically a horror movie, but I really wanted to add a serial killer to my list this year. That didn't involve supernatural elements or people coming back from the dead or anything like that. I know that's kind of one and the same, but I wanted to have a true serial killer movie. Now, I kind of want to talk about the ending in a non-spoiler way. I thought the ending was fantastic. I was really curious as to how this movie was going to end, because like with his movies, you never quite know how they're going to end, and it ends in a very interesting way. The best way I can describe it is think of it like The Dark Tower, Book 4, Wizard and Glass. After you get this long backstory of Roland and his team, his quartet, and they come across this mystical world that we've seen before and read, and we know of, that it's like firmly planted in pop culture and the world of people who like to read, and just in general, just general mythos and stuff. And that shows up out of nowhere, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I really like that. So that might have been a minor spoiler, but just keep in mind that it still fits in within the realm of the movie. So that's really all I gotta say. I don't have a rating for this movie for today because it's not technically a horror movie. But as if I had to give one, it's definitely, I say it's a 4. It definitely helps move the horror genre forward in the sense of it's a good serial killer movie. You don't need supernatural elements. You just need just some guy just you know what, I'm a serial killer, owns up to it, and I'm here's some some of my kills I've done in the past, and they may just, you may hate him. He's telling these stories to make you hate him, and you will hate him after the end of the story. So after the stuff you've seen him. So, but Matt Dillon is so good in this movie. I cannot stress that enough. So, the reason why I helped move the horror genre forward is it's a 2.5-hour movie. I cannot stress I like long movies, and this one is just really done. It's high production value, really done, well written, well acted. It's just you don't get that very often in horror movies anymore. So I think the later movies in this month are more well acted, well production value. They are true, well done horror movies. So, I think I got a few Hellraisers movies left in there, so we'll see about those. So, it's really all I gotta say. Please click subscribe, comment, and share. If you've seen this movie, tell me what you think. Please, no spoilers in the comments, but just tell me what you think about this movie. If you agree with me, or my opinions are complete trash, I mean, I don't care. So, I like to hear everyone's thoughts on the movies. I'm just that kind of person. So, and also hit the bell to stay notified for any future videos I make on this channel. I have a lot of content planned on this channel, not just horror movies. I have books, games, I'm just everything kind of planned on this channel, just to kind of make things a little more personal to Max. So, I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, and goodbye.